splash.
There's a splash just below that rabbit then,
Yeah,
whether that's what he was aiming for.
Yeah.
Let's talk bipods, in particular the Vanguard Equalizer Pro-1. Hi guys, this is RACKNLOAD, and I just thought I'd throw out a little review on this Vanguard when I can say it, Equalizer Pro-1, and kind of compare it to the Harris Bipod. Now these two that you see in front of you are slightly different, but it's kind of, you know, just to give you a bit of show you the difference between the two. I know Harris do a lot of different types, so do Vanguard, they do different sizes, but like I say, I've got the Pro-1 here, and I've got to say I'm impressed with it. Now you might think, oh, that is bulky sticking out there. Yeah, it is a little bit, but you know, I don't know, I prefer it to the Harris. Don't know, you decide, but having used them both, I do prefer it. Now on the box it tells you about what this Equalizer Pro-1 can do as far as range of movement. You've got 30 degrees, let's just find that picture, 30 degrees either side, sort of, what would you call it, arc of fire I suppose. So you can sort of just turn your gun on the spot, 30 degrees left or right, 60 degrees in total. So for example, if you're hunting and you're tracking a rabbit that's sort of hopping across a field or whatever, that is pretty cool. Extendable legs, spring-loaded legs as well. And you have got a bit of a cant on this bipod as well, which is a real good feature. And you've got a bit of forwards and backwards range of movement as well, which again is pretty cool. I'll show you what I mean when I show you in the flesh properly, but this is the box anyway. What you get is you get an Allen key with it, and you also, obviously you need that to fit it. I'll tell you more about that shortly. But this is the good thing about this bipod, is the thing I really like about it. For example, if you've got two rifles that you use but you just want to get one bipod, you can, because with this you're supplied with two mounting blocks which basically attach to your sling swivel stud with the use of Allen keys, as you can see, or the Allen key that is supplied. Dead easy to fit, it's self-explanatory there. If you've got a sling swivel stud, you're basically just undoing this section comes out, screw it onto your sling swivel stud there, do it up, and then screw this picatinny rail or wrist rail, picatinny rail, whatever you want to call it, or weaver rail, put this back on, and don't worry because you don't lose your sling swivel. It's got one on the end so you can still attach your sling, and then basically it makes this bipod interchangeable, but basically just by turning this lever here, just show you it close up and just show you how it works. Literally just undo that, you can do it one-handed, and off it comes. And then what you basically do is just take it off the rifle you're not using and then bang it on the rifle that you're going to be taking out. Totally interchangeable, dead quick, dead easy. I'm doing it one-handed for the camera, he says. No, done it up too tight, there we go. That's it, it's on. That is a cool feature about this Vanguard Bipod, really cool. So let's talk a bit more then about the features of this. Now, first of all, yeah, it's a little bit bulky compared to the Harris. It sticks out a little bit because of this mounting block. That does add a bit of, I don't know, height to it, but that's a good thing, because in my opinion with a Harris bipod, in my experience of just sort of range shooting, and I mean this is mounted on a 308, so I'm mainly using this for, well, I am basically just using this for target shooting. I don't do deer stalking or anything like that. So on ranges where I'm using this, the bipod on this, the Harris bipod, is more than adequate. I don't think I've ever used it on its full extension. Well, let's take this off and I'll show you the difference between. Now this fits slightly different. This is fitting on a rail on this 308 stock. Yeah, it's a little bit more intricate, the Harris is, the way it's set up on this rifle anyway. Obviously you can get them where they just fit on the sling swivel stud, but just sort of demonstrate the length that this goes out to. I mean, it's massive. I never need it that height. Well, obviously that's not deployed, but sort of show you. I never really need to go sort of that length with this bipod. You know, it ain't actually on camera. I can't even get it in shot. It extends that long. This Vanguard doesn't extend that far, but I find it's more than adequate. Now, you'll see what I mean. Let's just deploy it. Now, another thing I like about this as well is there's no springs that, like on the Harris, where you've got springs and other bits and pieces everywhere. This is just nice and neat. It's all sort of integrated. Nice buttons that you just press. Dead easy as well. If you can see that, look, it just basically press the button there, pull. It's all spring loaded as well. Now that is the maximum deployment or length of the Pro 1. Other bigger ones are available. And that is more than enough, because like I said, you've got what, 2 or 3 inches there that's adding to the height anyway. So I found this thing at maximum deployment more than enough. It really is more than enough for what I was doing anyway. The Equalizer Pro-1 though has got a real good range of movement. I mean, look at that for your arc of fire. You've got 30 degrees either side, or either way, left and right. That is brilliant, that is, if you're a hunter. And like I said, you've got a bit of cant on there as well. Now I'm doing that, I'm not lifting any of the legs off the table. So you've got a bit of cant there, which can come in useful. But I just love this bipod. Let's show it you close up. In fact, I'll take it off the rifle. It'll be a bit easier to show you. Let's put that down there. Right, here we go. Now it's made from good quality aluminium. It feels really good, to be honest. To be honest, I think it feels better than a Harris bipod myself. Same sort of weight. I haven't weighed them, you know, but same sort of weight. This one is a little bit heavier because I've got this fitted differently. This isn't going onto a sling swivel stud, it's going onto a rail. So it's slightly different setup there on the Harris, but I don't know, I think this Vanguard is just a lot sleeker. Let's just try and get them in better grip. You know, the feet on this Vanguard are a lot better than Harris, I think. Love that rubberised grip there. Really digs in and keeps your rifle steady. You know, the Harris, yeah, it's got a bit of grip on it. Occasionally I've had these slip though. You know, I suppose it's as they wear a little bit. But you dig them in, you're shooting a heavy rifle like this Remington 700. Generally you don't get any problems. But I do like the big grippy feet on this thing. It's really cool. The buttons on the Harris I've never ever really liked, you know. I don't know, I just find them a bit of a pain. I mean, they work, they do the job and everything. I'm not sort of slagging Harris off or anything, but I just think this Vanguard, when you compare the buttons, for example, that's your Harris buttons there, look. And then you compare it to the Vanguard's, nice chunky ones, look. Just press that in. I'm trying to do this for camera so you can see. Press them in, it's like a big claw thing there that grips it. I just find them a lot more user friendly, you know, especially if you're wearing gloves and you've got to fumble about for these things. I don't know, that's just my preference anyway. But in comparison though, I just think this Vanguard is a lot sleeker. It's just a lot neater in design. And you've got spring-loaded legs there, so you notice that as you deploy it. They are nice and positive when they're deployed. And there's your range of movement. Look, I see that a bit easier when it's not mounted on the rifle. Just a real cool design. The Vanguard's manual is pretty cool, nice and easy to read. Gives you some nice diagrams on how to fit it to your rifle. Tells you obviously how to use it, and then there's all your bump there and tells you the specifications. Pretty cool, dead easy to read and sort of, you know, get the gist of. Easy enough to fit as well. Like I said though, this part here, I did have to unwind my sling swivel stud just a couple of turns so it was out further enough so I could sort of get this screw all the way through the hole. But easy enough. Just depends on what sort of sling swivel stud you've got, how big it is, you know, what sort of stock you've got. But dead easy to get the hang of. Like I was showing you earlier, the attachment block that you attach to your rifle is all aluminium. Yeah, it's nice and light though, and really tough. So you're not going to have any problems with this rail sort of wearing out on you, you know, like a polymer rail would. You know, if you was forever sort of attaching stuff to it. Just a real simple and neat design. What I did find though, with this, particularly on this CZ 452 silhouette that I've got this mounted on, I couldn't quite get the block on because basically the sling swivel stud was a little bit too far in, so I just had to undo the, well, I'll show you better on the stock end. I just had to undo the sling swivel stud, a couple of threads, so it was protruding a little bit more, so I could get basically get that bar through it, because it is fairly deep in there when you look at it like that. So yeah, I had to wind it out a couple of turns just so I could get it through the get the bar through the sling swivel stud, but not a problem. You know, it's stuck solid. But it's just cool. I just love the design of it. I love the way you can just quickly attach and reattach your bipod to whatever rifle you've got these two mounting blocks attached to. It is really cool. You know, it saves you buying two bipods. I know a lot of people who use Harris bipods end up buying two, you know, to put one on each rifle. With the Vanguard, you won't have to do that, because like I said, you get the two mounting blocks. Not sure if you can get more of these. I you probably can actually. I'll have to look into that. I'll put that in the details. I'll find out about that. But if you can get more of these, if you own, you know, several different rifles, then that's an absolute win. But just remember though, with the Vanguard Pro-1 series, which I've got, if you've got a rail on your gun, like, I'm trying to lift this thing, like this Target 308 that I've got, you'll struggle to fit it. Yeah, you can fit a sling swivel stud. Thing with this stock that I've got, this Choti stock, is the sling swivel studs are actually on the side. But it is doable. Obviously, you ain't going to really use one of those on there. It's going to look a bit crap. So probably with a rifle like that, I'd stick to the Harris, to be honest. I mean, I wouldn't really get a Vanguard or anything like this for this particular rifle, but definitely for a hunting rifle, for example, like this, absolutely perfect. It's just, like I said, it's nice and sleek. It's pretty streamlined as far as, you know, there's no sort of bits and pieces and stuff sticking out like on the Harris. So it just seems a better option for a hunting bipod. But great for target work as well. I've just really used this for target work. But it is cool. I'm well impressed with it. Now, price range, or price wise, or whatever you want to say. This Harris bipod here in the UK, this particular one that I've got, I paid £100 for it, 100 quid here in the UK for this. These are a little bit more expensive. These are retailing at about £125 or here in the UK. Yeah, it's a lot of money for a bipod, but you know, you've got the option of banging this thing on 2 rifles in pretty quick succession, whereas, you know, you're going to be fiddling around with the Harris, putting it on and off whichever rifle you want to take. You know, it's literally a 10-second job, just interchanging this from another rifle onto a different one. So, you know, if you get one of these, it's most likely gonna save you buying 2 of these. I don't know, you decide. In my opinion, I think it would. If I was in the market for a bipod, I have actually got this on loan, by the way, I'd get one of these because it just saved me buying 2. But like I said, not for that particular rifle because I've got the Harris on it. But it is cool. Yeah, it's made in China, but ain't everything these days. But the quality of it just feels really good. Real good quality. And I just love them. They're almost like skis, these things are. These bottom feet. Like miniature skis, the way they've done them. And loads of grip there. So you can really dig in with this thing. Anyway, guys, before I waffle on too much, that is your RACKNLOAD review of the Vanguard Equalizer Pro-1 Bipod, and a bit of a comparison to the Harris Bipod. Like I said, yeah, this is a bit of a different one, you know, the way I've got this attached to my rifle, but it just kind of gives you and shows you the difference. But anyway, guys, as ever, thanks for watching. Stay subscribed. If you've just jumped on this video, make sure you do subscribe. Get a good honest review here at RACKNLOAD. Thanks for watching, guys. See ya.